Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe, coming to you from my back porch on Tuesday, September the 20th. And what are you drinking? What are you smoking? Well, as far as smoking goes, no label or anything on this one. This is actually a house blend from one of the cigar shops up here in the Clear Lake area from Don Oscar, was the name of it. And best kind of cigar. It was free. I got this for free from the golf course, and so makes it taste better. All right, now what are you drinking? A buddy of mine owns a craft beer bar, and this is actually called. It's from Logill Brewing Company. This is called Spear. It is Irish whiskey barrel aged imperial oatmeal stout at a nice 13%. Give you that right there so you can see it. Look at that. All right. Okay. And we're going. I already cracked it. It's mighty tasty. But let's do this. Ooh, I'm gonna screw that up. There we go. All right. Look at that. Black gold, baby. Ooh, look at that. Like that. Ooh, look at that. That's some good looking. That is some good looking stuff. All right. I'm gonna holster this just to keep it a little bit warm. But it is really, it's pretty good, y'all. So here we go. Cheers, everybody. Actually, let me turn this around. All right, cheers. Mm. Oh, that is super, super good. If you like whiskey, barrel aged whiskey stouts, that's a good one right there. It's barreled in Irish whiskey barrels. The fucking fantastic. Mm. All right, I am wearing all Astros gear today for two reasons. Number one, my football team fucking sucks. God, it was horrendous Sunday. We'll get to that later. And then, second of all, last night the Houston Astros clinched the American League West for the fifth time in 6 years: 2017, 2018, 2019. Then there was that uh, stupid 60-game pandemic season. So that was the aberration. And then so 2020 was the aberration. All right, and then 2021, and then 2022. So five times in 6 years, the Astros have won the AL West. Now, granted, it's not that great of a division. We all know that. Thought the Mariners would be a little bit better this year. Now, the Mariners are probably going to get a wild card though. So there's that. But the A's are horrible. The Rangers are horrible. The Angels aren't good either. All right. But the Astros have done that, and I believe the magic number to clinch the number one seed in the AL is 6. So any combination of Astros wins and Yankee losses will clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs for the Houston Astros. The only team that has a better record than them in Major League Baseball is, of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers. So if it ended up being the Dodgers and the Astros in the World Series, Dodgers at this point would still have home field advantage. But the Astros, if they clinch the number one seed, which they should, they will then have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So, all right. That's what I'm talking about. So, so let's just go ahead and we'll start with baseball because obviously baseball's still going on, and I'll get you the standings here. Also, too, we're kind of on home run watch here as well in Major League Baseball. The reason for that is because Aaron Judge, I believe, has 59 home runs on the season. If I remember correctly, let me look that up. Actually, I think it's either 58 or 59. He might be at 59. Um, boom, 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 boom. Let's see here. Let's go to Baseball Reference, and he has 59. He does have 59 home runs. All right. So he needs two more home runs, 1661, to tie Roger Maris's American League record. Roger Maris still has the American League record at 61 because everybody else that broke Maris's record were all National League guys. McGuire, Sosa, Bonds. All right, all National League guys, and then of course they're all juicing on top of it. But that that's another argument for another day, or a discussion for another day. And of course Maris a Yankee on top of it. And that's the thing about Aaron Judge. And granted, I'm going to tell you right now, there is an argument to be made for Shohei Ohtani to be the MVP. But, I mean, let's all face it, Aaron Judge is going to win it just because of what he's done this season. I don't know if he's going to win the Triple Crown or not because he's still not leading the league in batting average. He's got a shot at it, but he's definitely going to lead the league in RBI, and he's definitely going to lead the league in home runs. So we'll see if he can get to the average there. And if you go, and actually too, and you can make the case that the Angels suck, and you can make the case that the Yankees are good. But if you go for most valuable player this season, I would say that Judge is by definition the most valuable player to his team, because without Aaron Judge, where would the Yankees be this season? All right. There's a lot of times that Aaron Judge is scoring the only runs the Yankees score, and Aaron Judge is basically willing the Yankees to win. How many times though has Shohei Ohtani gone deep and Mike Trout gone deep in a game and the Angels have lost? Okay. So that'd be my only argument. But I get the Ohtani argument. I'm with you, folks. If you're an Ohtani person, I get it. I understand it. I'm not. You're preaching to the choir on that one. But I think this year it's going to be Judge. All right. Just think of the freaking season he's having. It's just been unbelievable. All right. And then, if I remember right, Albert Pujols should be still sitting on 698 career home runs. Let's see here. He's still sitting on 698 career home runs. So Pujols we're trying to get Pujols to 700 too. Now, as an Astros fan, I'm glad Pujols is finishing his career in Arizona. He broke the Astros' heart several times. He also has the most of his 698 home runs. He has hit the most of them against the Astros. But of course, I was playing with each other all the time. But he does have the most home runs against the Astros of any team that he has faced. But I'd like to see Albert. I mean, Albert's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He should get in unanimously, in my opinion. But he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And it'd be really cool to see him get to 700 because there's not that many people that have 700 career home runs. Bonds, Hank Aaron, and I think A-Rod. Did A-Rod make 700? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's go to see if I can find him on Baseball Reference. I want to say. Let's see here. No, he got to 696. He was at 696. So I think, if I remember, I think it's just Bonds, Aaron. Griffey was in the 600s. Griffey didn't make it to 700, I don't think. All right, and let's see. Home run. Here, home run list. Let's check this out. Career home runs. All right, we've got. Yeah, those are only three. Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth. Only three players with 700 or more home runs. Bonds, of course, was 762. Aaron was 755. Babe Ruth was 714. And Pujols was sitting there at 698. A-Rod had 696. And then Willie Mays at 660. King Griffey's at 630. Jim Thome, 612. Sammy Sosa, 609. And then Frank Robinson at 586. That rounds out your top 10 right there. So there you go. So, yeah, it'd be nice to see Pujols get the old 700 and finish out his career, too, because this is going to be his last season, it looks like. So, there you go. All right. So, just a quick review of the standings here. The Yankees still have a 5.5 game lead on the Blue Jays in the East. The Guardians have a 4 game lead over the Chi Sox in the Central. Of course, Houston has clinched the division. They have a 15 game lead right now on the Mariners, and once again, they have clinched. The Mets have clinched a playoff spot in the NL Central, but they only have a 1 game lead on the Braves. That one's going to come down to the wire. Uh, St. Louis, speaking of pull holes, they're looking comfortable at 8.5 game lead over Milwaukee. And then, of course, Dodgers have already clinched the division too. They got a 21.5 game lead over the Padres. And if we look at the league here, the Yankees are 8 back of the Astros for best record. And of course, the Dodgers are going to have the best record. The Mets are 9.5 back of the Dodgers as far as that goes. And let's go to the wild card race. Right now, it would be number 1, Toronto, number 2, Tampa, and number 3, Seattle. Baltimore 5 games out. But it looks like those 3 teams are going to be fighting it out just as far as seeding wise goes. Okay. And in the National League right now, it is Atlanta, San Diego, and Philly. Milwaukee's still hanging in at 2.5 back of Philadelphia. So there's your MLB. All right. Let's go to. So that's your baseball roundup. Trying to blow smoke rings on, it's not working. But anyway, um, college football last week. Really wasn't a lot going on. Really not many big games. Texas, beat UT San Antonio. Who cares about that? Georgia beat South Carolina. Michigan shut out UConn 59-0. Oklahoma put a beat down on Nebraska. Poor Nebraska. Kentucky won. Baylor won. Oregon beat BYU 25-12 there. Oregon upsetting BYU. As far as that one goes, Ole Miss won. Penn State won. Bama won. Wake Forest won. They were number 19. Ohio State won. Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Tennessee, NC State. Now, Michigan State got upset by Washington. Second team, Washington's upset, man. But they lost that game 39-28. Florida won. Pitt won. Clemson won. Miami, number 24, Texas A&M did beat Miami 17-9. An upset there. Utah won. USC won. But no, with a lot of big name matchups going on this week in college football, it was kind of an week there as far as that goes. All right. I can't get it going. Anyway, I was trying. Just can't quite get it going. So let's move on. I don't think there's any other news really about anything else. I think that's pretty much it. So let's go to the NFL here, week 2. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Part of the reason I'm wearing Astros gear, I had a shitty fucking week 2. I mean, a shitty fucking week 2. Fucking fantasy team stunk it up. All right, look at this shit. I'm gonna pull up my fantasy for y'all. All right, this is I'm just gonna bitch to y'all. All right, because this was my fantasy in week 2 here. Now, Pat Mahomes played on a Thursday night. All right, threw a couple touchdowns, got me 22 points. Nothing complains there. Fucking Jonathan Taylor did squat against the fucking Jaguars. The fucking Jaguars. Colts did absolutely nothing. Taylor got me 7 fucking points. Saquon Barkley didn't do a whole fucking lot. He got me 11.8. Devontae Adams had 1 touchdown, and then Carr forgot about him the rest of the fucking game. He only got me 9.2. Adam Thielen, only 9.2. Michael Thomas did me a solid. He got me 18.5, and he was only projected for 14, so go Michael Thomas. Zach Ertz did me a solid. He got me 15 points. He was only projected to hit me with 10. Justin Tucker got me 10 points as a kicker, and then the Tampa Bay defense came through in the clutch for me. Man, Tampa had got me 26 points, but I end up losing. Last week, 171.36 to 129.8. But Yeah, what killed me was Tyreek Hill went off for 43 points in that fucking Dolphins game. That's another story. We'll get into that in a second. And then Kirk for Jacksonville went fucking off too. He got 25. The Buffalo defense also did really well too. They got 20 points. Buffalo defense did. Damn, Tua went off for 53 points. Jesus Christ, I just saw guy was on his bench. They played Aaron Rodgers over Tua and Tua went for 53. That's pretty fucking funny. Well, I was going to lose anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But yeah, could have used the points though for tiebreakers. So I'm still in fourth place uh, in my 10 team league. So that's not too bad. So I'm still in playoff spot after week 2. So 1-1. Only 3 teams are undefeated after week 2. So that's pretty out of 10 teams. So that's pretty interesting right there. So we'll see what we'll do this week. Maybe my fantasy team get their fucking head out of their ass and fucking do something. Jesus Christ. All right, so there's your fantasy. There's your fantasy talk. All right, so number 1, I did that. Number 2, I kind of hedged my bets this week, so I threw some money down on my team because I'm an idiot. The Commanders did cover against the Jaguars last week. They were favored in that game by 2.5 points, uh, and or maybe it was 3.5, something like that. And I think it was 3.5. And anyway, they got the touchdown. They ended up covering. So they won the game they covered. I was like, all right. And then they're playing the Lions in Detroit. Now, Washington used to kick the shit out of Detroit. I mean, Washington had this huge streak against Detroit, and now all of a sudden they can't fucking beat Detroit. Now Detroit's won 6 of the last 7 games that they've played. And we'll get into the game here in a second. But anyway, so the Lions only opened up as 2.5 point favorites, and then they dropped down to a point and a half, and at that point it's like a fucking pick 'em. And so the money line, the Commanders were going off at even money on the money line. So you bet 100, you win 100. Remember, they're going off 1-1. All right. I'll go against my better judgment. Bet with my team for the second straight week because I think they're going to win the game. I have a good shot at winning the game because after all, it's just Detroit. And then they play like absolute dog shit in the first half, and then just get their asses fucking creamed. I mean, they did make it close, but they end up losing the game. Of course, on the money line, you have to have team that you bet they have to win. Uh, they didn't, lost that money, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna break even this week because I took the Ravens minus 3.5 against the Dolphins. It was 28-7. And then the Dolphins outscored the Ravens 28-3 in the fourth quarter. The Ravens were playing for a field goal at the end. They kick it. It's 38-35. So I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to get fucked by half a fucking point. So I'm kind of rooting for overtime, or I'm rooting for the Dolphins just to flat out win. And so Dolphins get the ball back, go right down the fucking field, score a goddamn touchdown, and I'm like, you know what? I'd rather the Dolphins goddamn win than get fucked by half a goddamn point. And so Dolphins end up winning the game. So that was my break even game. That did not work out very well for me. That did not work out very well for me at all. So that was my shitty, horrible fucking football weekend. Uh, Team lost, fantasy team lost, and then the game that I thought I was going to break even on fucked up. But I can't imagine being a goddamn Ravens fan. Holy fuck, I'd be pissed. Hell, I'm not even a fan. I was pissed. I lost my money. I think I got too much smoke going. I think that's what it is. But anyway, all right. So the Sunday night game against the Chiefs and the Chargers, that was pretty entertaining. Thursday game. Chiefs didn't look great, but it's Thursday night, man. Thursday night games are never fucking good because, you're only getting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. One of those days is a fucking travel day. All right, so you're basically just playing a game, getting a couple days off, and then turning right around and playing another damn game. So because the teams don't have a long time to prepare, it's usually sloppy and stuff like that, and it was. And the Chiefs, though, I mean, Chargers were in it the whole game, and then the kind of the turning points of when Herbert threw that pick at the 1 yard line, and then it got returned 99 yards for a pick six, and that pretty much sealed it. If you're looking though at the spread, the Chargers did cover. So if you had the Chargers, they did cover. I think they hit. I'm not sure if they hit the over in that game. That was 51. I'm not sure what the over was. I'm sure the over was up there, but on a Thursday night game. So there you go as far as that goes. And then, like I said, man, my fucking team. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, against the Lions. So they look like Commanders look like fucking dog shit in that first half, man. They got shut out in the first half. It was 22 because the fucking Lions got a safety. It was 22 to nothing after the first half, and then the Commanders got 15 points. They went for two. They got scored 15 points in the third quarter. Lions scored 7 though, and then in the fourth quarter, the Commanders outscored them 12-7. So it ended up being a one possession game, 27. Well, not one possession. It was a 9 point game. Because Commanders went for two again for some stupid reason. Because two, if they missed it, was going to put them down by 9. I don't know why the fuck Ron Rivera was doing on that play. That was kind of stupid. I thought just kick the fucking field goal. So, I mean, really, it should have been a one possession game, like a 7 point game, 8 point game, somewhere around in that neighborhood. But it ended up being 27-29. That game just fucking, that defense is bad. They got all those first round picks up there too, man. You've got Jonathan Allen, and you've got Montez Sweat, and you've got Payne. Now Chase Young is still out, but he should be back, I think, for week 5, I believe. I think he's out for the first 4 weeks of the season. So that sucked. Jets came back. I didn't see a lot of that game, but the Jets came back and beat the Browns 31-30. So the Jets are on the board with a win. The Bucks beat the Saints. Oh, there was the fight in that game, man. Mike Evans laid that dude out, and he got suspended for a game. But the Bucks, man, Tom Brady looks old. I think. I mean, I know he came back because he looked good last year, but I think this is the season where Father Time catches up with Tom Brady. I think this is for sure Tom Brady's last season. He's not looking too good out there. But the Bucks get the win over the Saints, 20-10. Giants pull out the win, 19-16 over the Panthers. Patriots get their first win. They beat the Steelers 17-14. Jaguars shut the Colts out 24-0. Did not see that one coming, but Matt Ryan looks every bit as old as he looks. I think he threw 3 picks in that game. Obviously no scoring. Colts, man, I thought the Colts with Matt Ryan would be better, and they barely beat the Texans. I mean, they were down 20-3 in that game before the Texans blew it. And then the Jags just shut them out 24-0 in Jacksonville. And so I don't know what's wrong with the Colts, but goddamn. And then the Ravens and the Dolphins we talked about. But yeah, at one point the Ravens were up. It was 28-7. I think it was 35-14 at one point. And then I think in the second half it was 35-14. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna break even. And then here come the fucking Dolphins, man. Outscored them at 28-3, and kind of told you how that one ended. Dolphins ended up winning that one 42-38. Falcons did cover. The Rams let them kind of back into the game there, but it was 31-27 Rams. Niners beat the Seahawks 27-7. Jimmy G stepping in for the injured Trey Lance. Trey Lance did get hurt in that game. He might be out for the season. So maybe it's a good thing that the Niners didn't trade Jimmy G, because Jimmy G might be the quarterback for the remainder of the season. And then the Cowboys in a fucking shocker. I didn't think they were going to be backup quarterback. What's his fucking name? Cooper Riley? Man, what's wrong with the Bengals? Bengals. What's wrong with the Bengals? Because I've told you this. This is part of my Super Bowl. My predictions here. I was like, usually the team that loses the Super Bowl, they have a shit year the next year, and it looks like the Bengals might be doing that. It's not looking good for them. But the Cowboys win 20-17. Broncos beat the Texans, and the Broncos look like shit. Russell Wilson did not look good at all. I mean, 16-9 against the Texans. Right, the Texans are horrible, and Russell Wilson doesn't look good. The crowd was booing Russell Wilson during the game. Also, they kept getting fucking penalties, and the play clock kept running out. So the crowd started chanting the play clock. When the Broncos had the ball, they'd sit there. When they got to 5, they'd be 5, 4, 3. So they would have committed another fucking penalty. God, I love the Broncos fans. God bless y'all, man. Y'all are on y'all's team, man. Dig it. And then maybe another crazy game, which I didn't catch, but the Cardinals come back and beat the Raiders 29-23. Cardinals, I think, went for two, and then it was like a fumble recovery in overtime to win the game 29-23 in overtime. So the Raiders fall to 0-2. And then the Packers beat the Bears on Sunday Night Football, kind of a boring game, 27-10. And then last night, the Bills just put a beat down on the Titans, 41-7. That's the game. I mean, the Bills were favored by 10. I figured, and that game was 7-7 at one point. and, then, and then the Eagles beating the Vikings at home 24-7. So there you go. There's your week. There's your week 2 recap. Let's check out week 3, shall we? Not that you should be listening to me for betting advice, but let's see what we got here. All right. Thursday night, not an exciting game. Steelers, Browns. Cleveland's actually 4.5-point favorites. Shit, on a Thursday night, I might take Pittsburgh on that. Pittsburgh doesn't have to travel that far. Short flight from Pittsburgh to Cleveland. I'll take the Steelers in the 4.5. Not that confident, but I'll take it. And then NFC East matchup, we got the Eagles taking on the Commanders. Philly 6.5-point favorites, and if Washington plays like they played last week, they're going to get their ass kicked. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't expect the Commanders to win that game, though. Toss-up game, Texans at the Bears. Bears are just 2.5-point favorites. Basically, you get 3 points for being at home. So really, if you look at that, you're like, they're half-a-point favorites. Or if you look at it kind of like that way. Winnable game for the Texans. Now, I do have the Texans under 4.5 wins on the season, so I will take as many Texan losses early as I can get. So, go Bears. Raiders at Titans. Both teams 0-2. Vegas actually 2-point favorites in that game. Damn. Chiefs and Colts. Way the Colts have been playing. KC's only 6.5-point favorites. I'd take KC in the points, man. Although sometimes Pat Mahomes doesn't play all that well inside, and they are playing in the RCA Dome. Is that what it's still called? I don't know. They're playing inside of the Dome. Or no, the RCA Dome. That was the old stadium. It doesn't matter. All right. Bills Dolphins. Buffalo's favored by 5.5. They are playing in Miami, but I like Buffalo. I just like Buffalo. They're my AFC pick. Hell, they're my Super Bowl pick. I got there. So go Bills. And then Lions Vikings. AFC North. Vikings -6. I might take the Lions in the points. Ravens Patriots. Baltimore's favored by 3. Probably they don't play like they played last week as far as the defense. I mean, Jesus Christ. Cincy goes to the Jets. Maybe Cincy can get their first win. They're 4.5-point favorites. Saints Panthers. Saints are Saints are favored by 3 points. Then we got Jags at Chargers. Chargers are touchdown favorites over the Jaguars. Rams Cardinals. Rams 3.5-point favorites. What's the over in that game? Let me see if I can find it. $49 in that game. That might be a game to take the over. That might be a game to take the over in. 49. Those two teams, Rams Cardinals, they're gonna put up some points. Yeah, you're looking at 20. I mean, hell, 27-24 get you there. I might take the over in that game. The Rams are 3.5-point favorites. Seahawks Falcons. Seahawks 2-point favorites. Bucks Pack. Tampa actually 2-point favorites at home. Green Bay doesn't look that great either. And then Sunday night Broncos Niners. Niners 1.5 favorites. I don't know, with Jimmy G back, I'll take the Niners in the 1.5. They are playing in Invesco at Mile High, so we'll see what happens with that. And then Cowboys Giants. Giants 2.5-point favorites at home on Monday night against them boys. And let me check the over/under in this Texans Bears game. The over/under is it's at 40.5. I will take the under in that game. I think that's going to be a low-scoring game. That one could easily be like 17-14, 20-17, somewhere in that neighborhood. I like the enter in that game. There you go. Those are my picks. That's what I like. Cheers, everybody. All right, y'all. Well, that's all I got. There's your NFL Week 2 recap, a little bit of college football and what's happening in Major League Baseball. We're getting close to October, folks, getting close to playoff baseball. It should be fun. Enjoy the rest of y'all's week. Enjoy Week 3 of the NFL season. Hope everybody has a good time. And on that note, well, oh, I thought it went out. I got it. Hold on. There we go. When all those fellas just keep sucking. Like my fucking football team. Jesus Christ. All right. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, once again, cheers. Find me on Twitter, jolting at JJ Sports Show 63. That's at JJ Sports Show 63. And like and subscribe. We'll see you next week. All right. Peace out, y'all.